There was once a young man named Adam who lived in a small town. Ever since he was a child, he dreamed of achieving something great in life. While other children spent their days playing games without thinking about the future, Adam often imagined himself becoming successful and making a difference in the world. He believed that every person was born with a purpose, and he wanted to discover his own. However, as he grew older, he realized that dreams alone were not enough. The road to success was much harder than he had imagined. Whenever Adam shared his ambitions with others, people laughed at him. His friends told him that he was aiming too high. His relatives advised him to be realistic and stop wasting his time. Even some of his teachers doubted that he could accomplish anything extraordinary. Every time he spoke about his goals, he was met with criticism and negativity. It seemed as if everyone around him had already decided that he would fail. Despite the constant rejection, Adam refused to abandon his dream. Deep inside, he believed that success was possible if he worked hard enough. He knew that other people could not see the vision that existed in his mind. While they focused on his current situation, he focused on what he could become. Yet, staying motivated was not easy. Hearing "no" over and over again slowly began to affect his confidence. As the years passed, Adam faced one disappointment after another. He applied for opportunities and was rejected. He started projects that failed. He invested time and energy into ideas that did not work out. Each failure felt like another weight on his shoulders. There were nights when he sat alone wondering whether everyone else was right. Maybe his dream was impossible. Maybe he should give up and settle for an ordinary life. One evening, after experiencing another major setback, Adam walked through the quiet streets of his town. His mind was filled with doubt and frustration. As he sat on a bench, he noticed an elderly man feeding birds nearby. The old man seemed calm and peaceful. Seeing Adam's troubled face, he approached him and asked what was wrong. Adam explained everything. He talked about his dream, the failures, the criticism, and the endless rejection. He admitted that he was tired of hearing people tell him that he could not succeed. The old man listened carefully and then smiled. "Do you know what separates successful people from everyone else?" he asked. Adam shook his head. "The successful ones continue moving forward when everyone says no." Those words stayed with Adam long after the conversation ended. For the first time in months, he felt a spark of hope. He realized that rejection was not proof of failure. It was simply part of the journey. If every successful person had quit after hearing no, the world would be full of unfinished dreams. The next morning, Adam made a decision. He would stop focusing on what others thought and start focusing on what he could control. He created a plan and committed himself to improving every day. Instead of seeking approval, he concentrated on learning new skills. Instead of complaining about setbacks, he searched for lessons within them. Days turned into weeks and weeks turned into months. Adam worked harder than ever before. While others relaxed, he studied. While others doubted him, he practiced. While others talked about success, he worked toward it. Progress was slow, but it was real. Every small improvement gave him more confidence. Of course, challenges continued to appear. There were moments when things went wrong and obstacles seemed impossible to overcome. But now Adam viewed difficulties differently. He no longer saw them as reasons to quit. He saw them as opportunities to grow stronger. Every problem taught him something valuable. Every mistake became a lesson. Eventually, people began noticing the changes in him. His skills improved. His discipline increased. His mindset became stronger. The same people who once mocked him started paying attention. Some were surprised by his determination. Others were curious about how he managed to stay focused despite years of rejection. Adam ignored the noise and continued moving forward. He understood that success required patience. Great achievements rarely happen overnight. They are built through countless small actions repeated consistently over time. Then, after years of effort, the opportunity he had been waiting for finally arrived. A project he had worked on tirelessly began attracting attention. People appreciated his work. Doors that had once been closed started opening. The recognition he had dreamed about for so long was finally becoming reality. As his success grew, more opportunities followed. Adam's life changed dramatically. He achieved goals that once seemed impossible. He traveled to places he had only imagined. He met inspiring people and continued building on his accomplishments. Most importantly, he proved to himself that persistence was stronger than rejection. One day, while attending an event celebrating his achievements, Adam looked around the room and recognized several people who had once doubted him. Some of them congratulated him warmly. Others admitted that they had never expected him to succeed. Adam smiled politely. He felt no anger toward them. Instead, he felt grateful for the lessons their doubts had taught him. Their disbelief had forced him to develop resilience. Their criticism had strengthened his determination. Their rejection had taught him the importance of self-belief. Without those challenges, he might never have become the person he was. As he reflected on his journey, Adam remembered the old man in the park. He remembered the simple advice that had changed everything. Successful people continue moving forward when everyone says no. That wisdom had guided him through his darkest moments and helped him reach his destination. From that day forward, Adam shared his story with anyone who felt discouraged. He wanted people to understand that rejection is not the end. Failure is not permanent. Doubt from others does not define your future. The only opinion that truly matters is the one you have about yourself. Many people spend their lives waiting for approval before they take action. They want everyone to support them before they pursue their dreams. But Adam learned that approval often comes after success, not before it. The world may doubt you at first. People may criticize your goals. They may tell you that your dream is impossible. Yet none of those opinions can stop you unless you allow them to. The next time someone says no, remember Adam's journey. Remember that every successful person has faced rejection. Remember that obstacles are part of growth. Most importantly, remember that your future is not determined by the number of people who doubt you. It is determined by your willingness to keep going. When everyone said no, Adam said yes to himself, and that made all the difference. Instead of giving up, he made a silent decision inside his heart that no matter how difficult life became, he would not stop moving forward. Every rejection he faced, every failure he experienced, and every negative opinion he heard became fuel for his determination rather than a reason to quit. While others expected him to break down and accept defeat, he chose a different path, a path of persistence that required patience, discipline, and mental strength. He understood that success does not come from talent alone, but from consistent effort repeated over time even when results are not immediately visible. So he started working on himself every single day without waiting for motivation or approval from anyone around him. He improved his skills step by step, focusing on small progress instead of instant success. If he failed at something, he did not see it as the end, but as a lesson that showed him what needed improvement. Each mistake became a teacher, guiding him toward better decisions and stronger performance in the future. Even when people laughed at his dreams or told him that he was wasting his time, he chose not to respond with anger or sadness, but with action. He believed that results speak louder than words, so instead of arguing with those who doubted him, he invested his energy into building himself quietly. There were days when doubt tried to enter his mind, whispering that maybe others were right and maybe his dream was too big for him, but he refused to let those thoughts control him. He learned to push away negativity and replace it with focus, reminding himself why he started and what he wanted to achieve. He created a routine where every day had a purpose, whether it was learning something new, practicing a skill, or improving a weakness. Slowly but surely, this consistency started shaping his personality and mindset. He became more disciplined, more patient, and more confident in his ability to grow. Even though success still felt far away, he no longer feared the distance because he understood that every expert was once a beginner who refused to quit. While many people around him were distracted by comfort, entertainment, or fear of failure, he stayed committed to his journey. He sacrificed short-term enjoyment for long-term growth, knowing that greatness requires time and effort. Sometimes the path felt lonely because not many people understood his vision, but he accepted that loneliness is part of any meaningful journey. Instead of letting loneliness weaken him, he used it as an opportunity to focus even more deeply on his goals without distraction. He started observing successful people and studying how they achieved their goals, learning that behind every success story, there were years of struggle, rejection, and hard work that the world often does not see. This realization strengthened his belief that he was on the right path even if progress was slow. Whenever he failed, he did not allow himself to stay down for long. He would analyze what went wrong, fix it, and try again with a better approach. Over time, this habit of learning from failure became one of his greatest strengths. His mindset shifted from fearing failure to embracing it as a necessary part of growth. He stopped comparing himself to others because he realized that everyone has a different timeline and different challenges. Instead, he focused only on becoming better than he was yesterday. Every small improvement gave him a sense of achievement and motivated him to keep going. Even when results were not visible to others, he could feel the internal change happening within himself. His confidence was no longer based on others' approval, but on his own effort and discipline. The opinions of people who once affected him started losing power because he could see that most of them had never tried to pursue something difficult themselves. He understood that people often doubt what they cannot understand, so he stopped seeking validation and started trusting his own process. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months, and slowly his hard work began to show signs of progress. The same skills that once felt weak started becoming stronger. The same tasks that once seemed difficult started becoming manageable. He realized that persistence was silently transforming him into a better version of himself. Even though the journey was still ongoing, he felt more prepared for challenges than ever before. His mindset had changed completely from someone who feared failure to someone who welcomed challenges as opportunities. He learned that success is not built in a single moment, but in countless small decisions made every day to keep going despite doubt. By refusing to give up, he proved to himself that determination can overcome almost any obstacle. After years of continuous hard work, silent struggle, and unshakable patience, the moment he had once only dreamed about finally arrived in his life. It did not come suddenly without effort, nor did it happen overnight as people often assume when they see success from the outside. It was the result of countless days of discipline, nights of sacrifice, and an endless commitment to improving himself even when no one believed in him. Slowly, without making noise, his efforts began to take shape in the real world. The skills he had been building for years started to show visible results. Opportunities that once ignored him began to notice him. The same doors that were once closed in his face started to open one by one. What once felt impossible gradually became possible through persistence and determination. The world that once doubted him was now forced to look at him differently because success had finally given him a voice that no one could ignore. People who had once laughed at his dreams were now surprised to see how far he had come. Those who had once said he would never succeed were now questioning how he managed to achieve what he did. His journey became a silent answer to all the criticism he had received in the past. He did not need to argue with anyone or prove himself through words because his results spoke louder than anything else ever could. Every achievement he gained carried the weight of every rejection he had faced before. Every step forward reminded him of the struggles that shaped him into the person he had become. When success finally came, it did not erase his past, but gave meaning to it. All the failures, doubts, and hardships suddenly made sense because they were part of the process that built his strength. The same people who once doubted him now looked at him with admiration and disbelief. Some congratulated him openly, while others remained silent, still trying to understand how he managed to succeed when no one expected him to. But he knew the truth behind his journey. It was not luck or sudden talent that brought him here, but years of consistent effort, self-belief, and the refusal to quit when things became difficult. He remembered every moment when he had to choose between giving up and continuing, and every time he had chosen to continue even when it was easier to stop. That choice, repeated over and over again, eventually led him to this turning point in his life. Standing at the moment of success, he did not feel arrogant or proud in an unhealthy way. Instead, he felt a deep sense of gratitude for the journey that shaped him. He realized that success is not just about reaching a destination, but about becoming the kind of person who can survive the journey. The challenges he once saw as obstacles now looked like lessons that strengthened his character. The rejection he once feared now felt like protection that pushed him towards self-improvement. The doubt of others that once hurt him now seemed meaningless because he had already proven to himself what he was capable of achieving. As he moved forward in his new reality, he noticed how differently people treated him compared to before. The same individuals who once ignored his efforts were now eager to be associated with his success. Some wanted to know his story, while others tried to act as if they had always believed in him. But he understood that true belief is not shown after success. It is shown during the struggle. This realization made him value the journey even more because it taught him the difference between genuine support and temporary admiration. He never allowed success to change his humility because he knew how hard it was to reach this point. Every achievement reminded him of the nights he stayed awake working while others were sleeping, the times he failed but still tried again, and the moments when everything seemed against him but he refused to give up. His success became not just a personal victory, but a powerful message to anyone who had ever been doubted or discouraged. It proved that circumstances do not define a person's future. Choices do. 1,000 voices saying no could not stop someone who is determined to say yes to themselves. His journey became an example that belief in oneself can be stronger than external rejection. Looking back, he understood that the moment everything changed was not just when success arrived, but when he made the decision to keep going despite failure. That decision was the true turning point that shaped his destiny. Everything after that was just the result of consistent action aligned with that belief. And in the end, he realized that success is not about proving others wrong, but about proving to yourself that you were never wrong for believing in your dream.